need to know. First of all, we talk here about being lifelong learners. And these plaques are tied to that well, because a student could come up, read the plaque, and then become a gardener in their future and need to know about invasive species. Also, all the plaques are user-friendly. We'll make sure of that. So even our youngest inquirers can come and take something away from it. Also, we are always talking here about taking action. And during my research, I read that there is a student who created a formula that kills kudzu without killing any other kind of plant. So who knows, that could be some High Meadow student doing something like that. And I really hope you consider this, so yeah.
And so, any questions?
Yes, this is really, first of all, such hard work, great work, so much thought you've put into it, from all of the design elements to the consideration of who should be involved in making the decision about its location, Mr. Keith, which is really terrific. And so I think it's a really great concept. How big is it?
Well, it can vary. We can change around the design a little bit to make it smaller or bigger. It really depends on the location, and so we can change it up. However,
Okay. So what kind of maintenance would it require? Because it's one thing when you build something wonderful like this, like the preschool playground's an example, we have to plan for how we continue to keep it as beautiful as it is when it starts.
Well, I know that our class has a gardener, and so maybe we can go out there and water the flowers, water the garden, make sure that all of the grass is growing good, and just kind of clean it up a bit.
I've also heard, Mr. Underwood, some of the teachers who've been here a while have actually asked me about a program we used to have called Adopt a Spot, where different classes would take on a spot and take care of it for the school year.
Wow.
So that may be a program. This may be something that could inspire that program to be revitalized.
Wow. Yeah, that's a great thought. Okay. So how much would it cost?
Well, we can reuse stumps and a lot of things we can find around campus that we're not using. And we already have all the materials for the solar fountain, but then we'd have to buy seeds for the flowers. And
let me rescue you a little bit. They actually asked me about that. They wanted to be prepared with a budget. And what I told them is, before we put energy, because there are lots of grants and things like that available, is let's first see how Mr. Underwood and Mr. Keith feel about the idea.
Gotcha.
And then we will offer to take on some financial responsibility and finding some funding sources.
Okay, good.
And then if we still need money from the school, that would be even further down the line. But we thought, let's just cross the bridges one at a time.
Good.
So I didn't want you to think the students weren't prepared for that question, but I did kind of say, well, let's slow down a little bit, because who knows, the stumps we just happened to find on campus. But if Mr. Keith is nervous about the maintenance, let's answer the one step at a time. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you've considered so many different angles and all of the things that go into this and make it a great element to High Meadows. It's very consistent with who we are, which you presented very well. And I think it's nothing but a great thing. So I approve. Go right ahead. Move ahead, please.
So my friends, that's wonderful. Actually, Mr. Underwood, we didn't expect to hear an approval so quickly. We were prepared to wait and give you time to think, so you still have that time.
Okay. Well,
but if you're giving us the green light, then our next step would probably be to go to Mr. Keith.
Yes.
And let him know about the presentation. I'm going to